John Adams' Letters from the Front podcast, January 1915. This podcast looks at life in World War I through the letters of John Adams, who was 23 when he joined up in September 1914. He served with the 9th Service Battalion Royal Irish Fusiliers and was involved in many significant events in the Western Front, particularly Passchendaele. These are his words, read by his grandchildren and narrated by his great-grandchildren. As John Adams continued to train back in North Down, you wonder how much they knew about what was going on in the war, about the different battles that were being won and lost, about how the war was turning, and what were the rumours that were being said amongst the men about what was happening during the war. At the very beginning of the war, there was censorship imposed. It relaxed later on in the war, but at this stage, I'm guessing it was still quite rigid. The Defence of the Realm Act came into force in the very early days of the war, and one of the regulations stated that no person shall, by word of mouth or in writing, spread reports likely to cause disaffection or alarm among any of His Majesty's forces or among the civilian population. And that affected the letters that were coming home from the front. We do see that standard postcards came that you just crossed out different things you did or did not want to say to send a message home. And there was censorship imposed on letters coming from the front. It is hard to imagine in this day where we can get information about anything very quickly, where you see people during a horrendous act that happens somewhere taking photographs so they can update their own Twitter. So instant news from people who are there and not waiting for news outlets to tell us what is happening. So how much did the boys at home really know? How much did John Adams know about what he was training for? About the atrocities that would happen during this war? Because war is not clean. War is a dirty thing. And how much we find out about it, that's what censorship is. My name is Mark Adams, and John Adams is my grandfather.
As John Adams continues to train in Ireland, the war continues to spread across the globe, creating a true world war. The new year of 1915 brings the Central Powers attacking Cameroon, Eastern Arabia, South Africa and Asia Minor. Allied powers moved to protect the Middle East and seize German East Africa, while civil war split South Africa. It is hard to imagine in today's world just how widespread these aging empires were at the time, and how much this war would change the political landscape of the world. January 1915 brought some firsts for the war. The 19th brought the first airship raid on England, while on the 31st Germany began to use poison gas attacks in the war against Russian forces in the Eastern Front. But they had little effect as the freezing temperatures prevented the gas from vaporising. But closer to home for John Adams was that German submarines were now active in the Irish Sea.
A postcard showing a group of 18 soldiers bathing and washing by a stream in a steep little valley. Large rocks, possibly haystacks in the distance. It is not clear if John Adams is one of the 18 or is a photographer. Postmarked Hollywood, 29th of January 1915. To Mrs. J. Adams, Lissa Diane.
Dear Mother, just a line to say that we will be home on Saturday night. Tell Jay that we will be in Newry about 5 o'clock. I got your letter all right, many thanks. I think this is all until I see you all. I remain your loving son, J. Adams.
Thank you for listening to John Adams' Letters from the Front podcast. To find out more about John Adams and his family, visit www.johnadams.org.uk/letters, and you can email us with your comments or questions at letters@johnadams.org.uk. You can also follow at @JAdamsLetters on Twitter. The history of the 9th Service Battalion Royal Irish Fusiliers during World War I is taken from Blackers Boys. Visit them at www.9thirishfusiliers.co.uk. That's with the number 9, not the letter. The podcast will be published 100 years after the letters were written, so will be published nearly every month. This has been a Mark's Mess production.